Very welcome to the Long Bangers. I'm Matty.
Hello, I'm Colin.
And I'm John.
How are you both doing this evening?
All right, mate. All right. You?
Aye, good.
I've
Good.
booked to go. I've booked to go and see Richard Ashcroft next year.
Have you?
After I heard them last night. Not in the stadium. If anybody out there has got a ticket for Tuesday night, please let me know. But sat outside thinking I'll get a cheap ticket outside. If no, I'll just sit outside and listen. Decided just to book Richard Ashcroft for next April.
Nice one. Do you not think Hibs missed their trick in not inviting them into the game today?
They might have. Maybe they never came.
Maybe.
I think it's right. Where did they go? Like they're not back till Tuesday afternoon, eh? Maybe just
Aye,
fucked off back down the road to the house.
maybe. We're saying that, like, was it the Malmason or something? That's where they stayed last time, so I just presumed they would be doing the same. I would have invited them to the game if I was Hibs.
Mm.
It would be great PR. John, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Aye, good, good. Chris said, evening, boys. Kieran said, all right, boys, sucked the life out of me that second half. He said, anyone else worried about Thursday? Hopefully not start making mistakes, throwing away goals like the start of the last season. It was one of those days. Colin, you were watching Hibs, but at a different level
I was.
today. So you're on the questions.
Yeah.
I'll hand over to you.
Aye, that'd be good because I've seen absolutely nothing. John started telling you before we recorded. I've not seen a minute, and I'm just catching up with the stats. I was through Methil the day at Bayview. What a fucking dump!
Methyls, awful.
Do you know Methil no more? Do you know what it cost? It cost me £3 to get in to watch my daughter play. How mad's that? No comps at under 17 level.
Brutal.
Anyway, I was at that, and then
Not
actually we did
even.
a family barbecue and I've had a few drinks, so I've not seen anything, nothing.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I saw
So
it all every minute, every kick of the ball.
right, so I'm going to ask you all about it, and I need educated because I've read some group chats and there's a lot of
It's,
moaning
it's descended, eh?
going on.
Descended into
Ah.
aye, all
So it's
sorts.
one game that we've not lost, right? That's the on the face of it. Now, in the midst of
Some of
this Thursday,
it's
Sunday.
some of it. Some of the stuff that we're seeing is a bit reactionary.
Mm.
I
This
think.
is what happens, isn't it? So let's have it. Let's talk. You can talk me through it, right? John,
But
you got to say something there.
I
I'm
was
here
just
for
going
the
to say
reactions, by the way. That's what this podcast is about. It's
Hmm.
like we didn't have that if we didn't react to it.
Exactly.
what I was going to say was that today's second half performance, like we've been needing something like that to bring us back down to earth. Like we've had our 17 game unbeaten run. We've had an away victory at
Mm.
a hard place to go in Europe, and now it's back to regular domestic football. And it was a bit shit in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
We can look forward to coming up again next week.
Right. Fingers crossed, eh? But I just even noticed with one of the comments here saying about panicking about Thursday almost. Like that's not what they said, but that's how it came across. We've drawn a game.
It was a weird game though. Like I came, well, let you ask the questions, but
Right,
I,
let's go
I
then.
came where they're coming from. With
Aye, there you right. Well, okay, I'll
ah,
find out. So, um, team, we made a few changes. So Hanley was in, Hoylett came in, and Yuan came in. Were they the three
yeah,
changes?
that's right.
What was your thoughts on that?
I couldn't quite work out how we were going to set up at first when I was trying to I sort of make sense of the team. But I think the one thing, like when I was talking to, I hadn't seen it. Josh texted me and said, like, oh, I didn't think much of the team. And the one thing I said to him is like, "Oh, I trust David Gray." And that's kind of how I viewed it when I saw the team. I was like, "Well, I think David Gray kens what he's doing by now. I think he's sort of earned that trust." So
What did he mean by that? Because like we brought in a Scotland Hall of Famer, Ellie Yuan, and Hoylett, who folk were calling for to come in.
I think it's more like the shape and I think he was sort of worried about the lack of physicality or how having Hanley there affected Rocky. Like these sort of things were where the concern was coming from.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't quite get my head around how we were lining up, so I just kind of went with it. If I'm honest with you, I was like, it looks all right. So
And was it three at the back, like as the tradition, or because I noticed some folk are, well, I've noticed some folk are sort of keen for us to get back to the modern sort of 4-3-3 thing.
it was three. I would say it was three at the back
Aye,
for most of the game.
yeah.
Aye,
The BBC have got us in a 3-4-2-1, but I think the Observer put it out as the 3-4-1-2.
aye.
Um, but I've seen others suggesting it might be 4-3-3, so I wasn't sure what we'd actually settled on.
We were
But
very fluid, Colin, in the game
uh,
in terms of shape. Like the players, especially the first half, they were here and there and everywhere popping up. So I think we were sort of rigid in any particular formation in that first half.
Right, okay. So, John, talk me through the first half. Looked like a good start.
First half, about
Mhm.
44 minutes of the first half was excellent.
Yeah.
There was interplay, interchanges of passes, wee triangles, expansive long range passes. Dylan Levitt was sort of dictating play, like pulling the strings in front of the defence, linking defence and midfield, all that sort of stuff going on. It was a real joy to watch. There was stuff like Hibs players closing down the opposition, forcing them into making mistakes and conceding like throw-ins in their own box. Sorry, in their own half. That was met with well, applause, like an appreciation for the Hibs fans.
Mm.
And that first half, like it was those 44 minutes are probably as good as I've seen us in a number of months. And Ben, like, I caveat obviously, like there was a number of games that I missed last year because of other commitments, but like that was a really, like really dominant Hibs display, like for
Right,
the majority of the first half.
okay. That's interesting based on some of the action that I've seen. Um,
It's right though. Like
aye,
we were like I agree with John. As good as we've seen us for a long time, and we've had some really good performances, but
Mhm.
Tunahan flattered Kilmarnock. Like when the fact that they got in at 2-1 at the break was mental because we could have been out of sight by that point. The BBC when we scored the first, they had it's been an even game so far, but Hibs make the breakthrough, and
uh-huh.
fuck knows what they were watching because in no way,
Eh,
shape, or form was that game
I
even.
think it's interesting. Like interestingly, the only bit that I've seen for the BBC was the XG for the game, and we can maybe come on to that later. But I thought that the way that the two halves had gone, like although Hibs were dominant in the first half, Kilmarnock went without a couple of like maybe two, maybe three scrappy sort of chances. One of them's gone wide. Smith's had to pan one out from behind the post. I think there's been a cross that he's went to try and tip over the bar at one point.
Hmm.
So they weren't like Kilmarnock. Hibs were the dominant side, but Kilmarnock weren't out of the game.
mm. So, what was the first goal like, Matthew?
Free kick on the left, just sort of between the corner flag and the box near the touchline. Jamie McGrath took it, whipped in an incredible cross. I mean, the cross deserved a goal on its own. It's just like played at a great height with pace. There's no way the keeper could come for it. I think the the players have manoeuvred themselves well in the box to create a bit of space for Rocky, and Rocky's just headed it into the top corner, almost for the goal line. But it was all about the cross, really. The ball in
Mm.
from McGrath was unreal.
Aye. I'd
We were,
hoped when we were awarded the free kick, like I was pretty much diagonally opposite. Couldn't have been. In fact, I could have been maybe like 5 rows, 5 seats, sorry, further away from where the free kick was taken. I thought to myself, I cast my mind back to Zatelli and the way that he used to hit corners into the box. I was thinking we need something at pace. But I was like, if you're going to deliver something at pace, you probably need someone to meet it at pace, like a proper coming together. And that's exactly what you got. You got the speed of the free kick, you got the speed of Rocky attacking the ball and the header into the back of the net.
a good. I love a big centre half coming up and crashing one in. But
Oh, I never even thought about that. It's almost like the sort of the neck bulger that I was talking about last year.
Aye, yeah,
well,
Tick
we've
that
it's
seen
off
it.
the list.
Like that's just how it sounded when you were describing it. Obviously, catch sports scene later on, and then we went two up quite
mhm.
quickly after that. I think. John, what
Aye.
was it goal like?
Oh God, I'd almost completely forgotten. I was looking to get my memory jogged there, but Hibs broke. Hoylett was sort of I'm going to say like sort of striding forward, but I don't know. He's quite diminutive, so I don't know if you would necessarily call it striding. He was gliding forward, and then he's drawn a couple of defenders. He sort of like moved away, like moved towards the centre of the 18-yard box. He's running towards the 18-yard box, but sort of drifted more towards the middle. And as he's done that, he's taken a couple of defenders and he's stabbed the ball with outside his foot into Yuan's path. And I think he's almost nutmegged the keeper or put it through his legs. And I think it's come off like the keeper's heel or something. It's ended up in the back of the net. But another really good goal. And actually, this reminds me of what you were talking at the start about like formations and whatnot. Like I think Hibs were definitely fluid. And I was trying to work out who was actually playing in the middle, like how Mulligan playing at right wing back had impacted the middle of the pitch. But I think actually in the first half, Hoylett had a wee bit of a floating role. He was probably playing that one in a 3-4-1-2, and quite effective with it as well.
John, that was a really good description. But can I just ask, when you're talking about Yuan, can you just refer to him as the £2 million striker, just for consistency?
2 million.
Aye, I'll ask for you to call Bowie maybe the £6 million striker and Boyle the £3 million striker, just so we're all on a level path.
Listen, Kieran, who I think coined the £1 million striker phrase, has actually already commented on YouTube today. Spot on it. He says, "Let's not call him the £1 million man. Let's call him Creedy."
Aye,
So,
absolutely.
In the
fair play to
interest
you,
of
Kieran. Good man.
consistency, in the interest of consistency, can you also continue to refer to Grant Hanley as the Scotland Hall of Famer?
Aye, fucking right. It's like talking to him doing all the time. I'm like, the boy's played 60 odd times for Scotland. He's played at the Championship, the Premier League, where all your players aspire to go. And folk are going,
Pish.
nah, he's not going to be
He's
good enough.
pish.
Like Porteous has played about 12 games for Scotland and he's panned. It's him done. Like, everybody loves him. Like, this boy's played 5 times more than that. You know, it's mental. Anyway, right. So we're 2-0 up, we're cruising. And then, was it a goal late in the first half? Was it just before half time?
Aye, so
He's going to talk me through that.
Rocky tries to bring the ball out of defence, and he sort of manages. He almost gets tackled, manages to right the tackle, looks up, goes to play it out wide to the right, fucks the pass up, gives it to their forward, who just basically takes the ball down the touchline. Rocky goes out to meet him. I think Hoylett goes out with him. So the two of them are sort of should have it under control, almost at the byline, and the boy just sort of dribbles between the two of them, takes him out the game, cuts the ball back, and boy almost slaps his shot. I don't think Unbeaten nearly manages to clear it on the goal line, but just knocks it in. It was just poor. Like it was a goal we just did not need to give away.
Yeah. A bad time and all that as well, just for
Awful
half time.
time.
Gives them that time when they go in and go, we're in this game. Did they have a chance just before that? I'm just thinking on the radio, I'm sure they said, did the boy, they were talking about some boy that's about 6'7" playing for them.
He was 6'7" when he was sitting down. This boy is fucking enormous. Like he definitely gets his height quoted every time somebody mentions his name.
That's what I'm saying, these
Like
boys.
it was like Hen Brun.
6'7" striker, aye. Like, just call up the striker, man.
It was like they had Hen Brun up front for them. It was fucking. Josh said there should be a genre of footballers, like footballers who look like they should be playing another sport, and he was definitely one. Like he did not belong in a football field. He had a good game. We couldn't cope with him, but anything that went in there near him, they won. So I think the chance you're referring to, and I think it was it hit the post, but I think it's one of these ones that it was never going in. It hits the post, but like the outside of the post on its way wide.
Aye, right, okay. As I say, I've not seen it, so that's it. So feeling comfortable, still at 2-1. No, I think I've seen some comments in chats that I'm in saying we get the next goal, we'll cruise this 4-5, blah blah blah. That's how everybody was feeling. But then you've got that nervousness that it's only 2-1 still. So we never made changes yet at half time. I'm just looking at the subs, but they were obviously the 60-minute mark, because that's when that's a traditional sub time. Okay, so how did we start the second half then, John?
I'm trying to think back to it, like immediately after they scored. Like I said, I wasn't that concerned about it. It was like similar to say Jack Iredale when he gave away the ball that led to Dundee's goal. Like I thought that it was just Hibs trying to play football, because we've been playing confident, expansive football like throughout the first half. That one, kind of players. I wouldn't say that they were being cute, but they were confident in what they were doing. And I thought Rocky was confident going forward. It just so happened they lost it. The boys gone by him and they scored. I didn't think that we came out looking. I don't think that we finished the second half, like the goal aside. I don't think we finished the second half poorly. I didn't think that we looked leggy, and I didn't think that we started the second half poorly, and I didn't think that we looked leggy. However, to your point about like Kamar not going in and maybe like having a bit between their teeth kind of thing, I think they put us under pressure pretty early, and like within what I say was it like the 47th minute or something.
48th,
Like they'd
the
scored.
BBC saying 48,
48.
but obviously it might have been it might have been the 48th minute, so 47, 30 seconds, 48 minutes.
It's just, sorry, no, it's just like the ball's come out and it's fell nicely for him, and he's like, I was thinking about this when I was getting petrol on the way home. Like it was a good strike. There was I think Pete Preston described it as a novelty goal, and I do agree with that. And I didn't want to take anything away from the strike, but I'm also like, how the fuck is that going in? Like I've seen a bit of criticism of like Levitt, for example, not closing the player who scored down, but also the way he's hit it, he has almost kind of like lifted it into the top corner for like I want to say about 22 yards or something. So I don't think that even if Levitt had closed them down sooner, like obviously he could have been right on top of him and blocked it, but the way that the boys hit the ball, he's just kind of like lofted it into the far corner.
He's taken it on the volley as well. Like he's
Oh,
no, if you, it was similar to Iredale's goal in the derby. So
mhm.
similar sort of range. But if you imagine like Iredale kept his shot down, it's maybe going in sort of at the middle height of the goal and it's going across, and he's taken a touch and run onto it. This boy's just watched it come down and just pinged it first time
Yeah.
on the volley into the top corner. I mean, it was a
Like
proper
something to
wonder
try,
strike.
like something to try in the warm ups and
Aye,
really
like
come off. Sort of thing.
you're. I didn't really criticise him, but you're not bothered if he shoots for there. Right? I kind of sounds stupid because he scored, right? John, you sort of, we'll kind of talk about XG quite, as jokingly. That's a shot that will have a really, really low XG. Like it hardly ever goes in, although again we've just quoted two that have gone
Yeah.
in fairly recently. But there'll be loads of other ones that haven't resulted in goals that we've not seen because they've fucking gone out for throw-ins or right at the keeper's arms or
From
whatever.
a defensive point of view, you're saying let them because
Aye,
it's a 1 in 100. Yeah,
aye,
Yeah.
and it's gone in. So what can you do? It's just fucking
yeah.
straight in, and aye, it's a great goal
It,
to be fair.
it is like I'm trying, like genuinely, like I'm not taking away from the goal at all. Like I'm just trying to think of a goal that was similar. Iredale's is kind of similar, but it's not like Wayne Rooney when he's arguing with arguing with the referee and he just runs on it and smashes it
Oh,
at the top
that was a
corner.
great goal, wasn't it? Yeah.
Unreal.
It's in the same ballpark, but it's not the same goal. And it's just like it's just I think with the way that the afternoon was going, because of that goal, because of the goal at the end of the first half, because of how we started the second half in terms of conceding that goal, and with some of the substitutions, because I'd said to Leon that ideally what you would have is a situation where we're 2-0 up, we're quite comfortable, and we don't have to bring those guys on the bench. So like Martin Boyle in particular, who's hyperextended his knee against Belgrade, and you're thinking, right, keep him on the bench, keep him rested as much as possible for Thursday. And then what's happened is we've had to bring a couple of players on. So Iredale's had to come on, Boyle's had to come on, a few others I can't remember off the top of my head. Um, and it's kind of changed things. But actually, I think despite the fucking catalogue of comical errors in the second half, we haven't capitulated. So I'm actually taking something from that because I've seen enough games in the past where there's been similar circumstances where we've been ahead and fucked it. Or like even towards the end of the game when there was a possibility of a penalty, I thought to myself, I actually didn't want us to get a penalty because the chances are the way that this game's going, we're going to miss it.
See, when you talk about hyperextending knees, never enjoyed everything you say. I think you fucking Inspector Gadget, eh? They just get like a ridiculously extended knee.
No, excuse me. So we lost that goal early in the first half, and then there's no more goals. Right? Was it
Mhm.
what it says? I see we made loads of subs on 60 minutes, bringing on, I suppose, the first team, the boys that dropped out, Cadden, Boyle, and somebody else, Iredale. Um, did it make any impact? I've heard John mention there loads of comedy errors or calamities or whatever it was your words were. What tell me about it. What was
We,
going on?
we just lost the heat for a while. Like it was such a weird thing for us to have been so good in the first half. And part of it, like if I was to give Kelly some credit, 'cause Kelly pressed us high up the pitch and they pressed us quickly and sort of uh, like there were some unforced errors, but there were a lot of forced errors as well.
Yeah.
But we just all of a sudden started making really bad decisions, really rash, like attempts to play the ball. Playing the first time when you didn't need to play it first time, kicking the ball into a channel instead of finding a man. And the amount of miskicks, like or the ball going out to play. Smith has kicked it to the forward twice in a row.
Mhm.
How we didn't get punished for them? I don't know. We were lucky. Iredale has tried to shepherd the ball back to Smith at one point. All he needed to do was let it run, and instead he touches it. So then Smith's like ends up slide tackling the ball rather
Yeah.
than being able to pick it up. It's just like the heats completely went. And what we really needed at that point was some of the experienced heads on the pitch to just put their foot on the ball and calm it down a wee bit, or for somebody to go down injured for a wee bit so they could regroup. Like
Yeah.
that kind of thing where you just need to take the sting out of the play for a wee bit, gather your thoughts, and go. Everybody just calm the fuck down. We're all right. We're a good team. But I don't know whether it was like fatigue, whether that's like a mental fatigue or a physical fatigue from the fact we've had some big games in a row. Don't know how much Thursday took out the players, or whether it was just fucking one of those, like we just had a Raj half, like as sometimes happens. I don't really know what you put it down to, but to answer the question about the subs, they didn't really help. They just kind of came on the pitch and immediately contributed to the same capers.
They were, I think, one of Martin Boyle's like first involvements was basically a long ball that was punted forward for them. I think they were introduced into a situation that they weren't really able to salvage.
Mm-hmm. And I think Carden's first involvement was just to kick the ball off the like. I think he had 3 goes at passes with his first few touches where he just kicked it right off the player who was up against him, like no going round him or anything. Just when they try to flick it quickly and spin, but just giving it away immediately, like bang bang bang, quick succession. But then by this point, the crowd are all dead nervous as well. So we've had the goalie making the mistakes, we had the defenders making the mistakes, and then when we're going forward, we're doing mental things like bad decisions. So it just all sort of snowballed really, really quickly into like a bit of a farce, if I'm honest.
So was there any specific? Well, you've rattled off hundreds of names there. Like, was there anybody specifically making loads of mistakes, or was it just a collective?
I'd say that I'd say that Smith was probably involved, and I don't know. Well, it's maybe I'm maybe influenced by the fact that he was like because you immediately start to get a wee bit edgy when players are making mistakes in front of the box. You think, well, a good team's going to capitalise on that and score. So Smith, I think, probably made the most of the errors. But like to Matty's point, so Matty highlighted the defence and midfield. I think, but like even further up the pitch when we did have the ball up in the opposition's half, it was just like little 2 yard passes, 5 yard passes. Like there was one down near me where the ball's been played backwards for a beater. He's ended up having to, instead of running onto the ball, he's had to run back and get it to then sort of resume the attack. So it was just like mad wee things like that. Like instead of playing the ball in front of someone, it was played slightly behind, or rather than playing a ball into space for someone to have a shot, it's been played right to feet, and it's kind of like, well, you've got nothing to do with it because I've got 2, 3 players around me.
Aye.
Aye, so no, that's well. I don't know if it's better if everybody's collective. It's more when you're worried when there's one person in the middle. I know you touched on the goalie there, maybe being more, but that could be because he's uh,
I,
the last line of defence, I suppose.
I tell you, his mum was very close to having to turn off her notifications
And I
tonight.
seen your message saying that,
Like
and
it
I
was
did
one of
refer
those
to.
ones.
I can't remember who. Definitely said it to you during the week, or both of you anyway. Sometimes you're better lucky than good, and it sounds like it's his mistakes that he's making aren't costing us goals, and other previous goalies have been crucified for making these mistakes, but we've conceded and lost games because of it.
Yeah. Matty, see for your perspective down your end of the pitch, would it be fair to say that Smith's involvement in some of those like mistakes and some of the things that were going on, they weren't handling errors. It was just other things. So I didn't appreciate, for example, that there was a back pass that he's ended up touching. Like from our end of the pitch, it looked like he's gone through his legs or something. He's ended up having to scramble back.
It was a kicking error. So I think there's a wee bit of communication issues. Like there was one in the first half that we got away with. That Rocky was ushering it back, and it was so obviously Smith's ball to come and take, like so obviously, and they ended up getting I think a corner from it because Rocky has to play it. But in the second half, like he had a bit of a go at whoever it was that passed the ball back because he sliced one just straight up in the air. Do you know, like when they did that,
Oh
it was
yeah.
right up in the air and it lands in there. 23-foot strikers got to it first, obviously, because his fucking gravitational pull or whatever. Um, and then he had to go like, but the pitch was perfect. It wasn't like it took a divot in. He's just fucked it up. You know, as it happens.
Mhm.
And then I think it just was in his head because he then passed one straight out to somebody, and you're like, he just looked like and it's actually something Smith is really good at. Previously, that he can make a mistake and then he's good at forgetting it and moving on. But the day it seemed to stick in his head for a bit and just affect how he played for the rest of the afternoon.
Okay. Right, so we'll get to the comments in a second, but what right, so we spoke there, we made all the subs. Did it make any impact? Did we look any better? Did we look like we were ever going to win the game? Did we look like we were going to lose the game? Or did you just
I
peter out?
don't think that we looked like we were going to lose. Like, it's maybe a bit of a daft or a strange comment to make. But I thought that if we were going to lose, it was because we were going to do something like we were going to continue to make those errors and not get away with one of them, and that would put Kilmarnock 3-2 up. But for all that, for the chances that described that Kilmarnock created first half and the pressure that they put us under second half, it was almost like we kind of gifted them an opportunity to put us to bed and they couldn't take it.
Aye, that's fair. I don't think we were going to lose. Like, I thought we might have won it at the death with a bit of a penalty shout. I've not seen it back. There was a claim for handball, and Boyle was definitely sort of adamant that it had come off the boy's hand, but they obviously checked it on VAR and didn't to think it was worth pursuing. I think we probably could still be playing now, and it would still be 2-2.
I was trying to come up with a metaphor. It was almost like I was involved in like two, what was it? It was like two boxers just like trying to slug out, but like two ineffective boxers just swinging haymakers at each other on Lothian Road. Like nobody could do anything.
Aye,
Did we, before we got the comments, who was your top performer? Both of you.
Mulligan.
Mulligan?
Aye, but close between him and McGrath. But Mulligan was, especially second half when everybody else was kind of losing their heads. Mulligan had a couple of really strong runs, and
Yeah.
I thought he was the one player that maintained the quality throughout the game.
Did he move
Talking
back
about,
into midfield when he came on? Because Cadden came on, didn't he?
Aye.
Yeah.
I think Mulligan looked probably competence unfair on him. More than competent at right wing back, and then as he moved into the middle midfield, I think he probably looked more comfortable there. And just on the point about like hyperextending legs and whatnot, like I don't think Mullins especially tall. I want to say he's about like 5'7", 5'8". But there was one moment in the second half, I think, where he's managed to like sort of like slalom his way through a couple of players, and the legs are like it's moving the ball, it's collecting the ball, continuing to stride forward the ball. And I think actually, like, I think that attack broke down. I think he played Boyle, and Boyle's ended up conceding a foul for some reason. That was just one of those things. Like, it could have been a
Aye.
better pass.
What was that
Boyle,
foul for? Because
don't know.
it looked like the boy blocked the shot, but then the two Kelly players looked like they went into each other, and then
Ah,
the referee's giving them the referee was a dick today as well, by the way.
Who
Like,
was the ref? Was it anyone
um,
we know?
Walsh, was it Nick Walsh that we had today?
No,
I think so.
he's just a dick in general, isn't he?
There was one point he was giving Bowie a row. I can't remember who it was, Bowie and Yuan, I think, telling them to get away from the box for a goal kick. They were both standing outside the box, like on the edge of the box, but outside it. And he's telling them to get back, and they're like, "Oh, fucking nut!"
It's no the rules.
And he was like, sort of, kind of getting the angry gestures out and that, kind of getting the big I am, and I'm going, "What the fuck
Why
are you
do they
doing that
do
for?"
that? It's like the
Oh,
No
headmaster
more.
stuff.
a fucking arsehole, man. Like,
It's Nick Walsh. I've just checked.
aye,
That's just like I can tell you to do something, and I'm just going to tell you to do it. Whether he's definitely one if you were to say, but that's not the rules. He'd go, there was.
the laws, 100%.
Aye. Right. So we just kind of, I don't know, plodded away and it finished 2-2. So will I go into some comments then? I'll
Go
start with
for
you,
it, yes.
You done a first few ones, didn't you? So Stevie Corras, evening lads. Well, that was a hugely frustrating afternoon. Superb first half, very high tempo. Second half, a complete opposite. Shit happens, made worse by the Scumbos late winner. Chris Black says 44 minutes we were class, and he followed that up by saying I will not have it negative pish. Cam Grady, first 40 minutes, sorry, were spot on, proper impressive. Makes the second half even harder to take. Mental drop in quality. John McGlynn, evening bangers, not the best result today. Hopefully, just a minor setback to get out of the way before Thursday. Rob Morris, evening all, weird game, probably the best I've seen Hibs play. First half fell apart after their goal on half time. That striker for them will cause problems for a lot of teams in the league. So I think a lot of people saying that. I'm just checking the username because mine had done Greent that time, so the Green Tea.
Yeah, I remember that.
There's one called me. And I'm like,
Just
that's not me, I've not sent that in.
no,
And
but
I'm
it's okay.
certainly didn't subscribe to this shit, right? So he's me said, think we need more bodies in, more height, Nicky Big Miss. Let me see whose notes in on this. A couple of doublers
Saw Nicky Carden up in the stand, by the way, and moving down the stairs at full time. He looked fine. That was my assessment. I mean, moving freely down the stairs, so I would expect to see him
2
back in the
weeks.
team soon. Aye.
Green Tea, she said, at last a player who deserved man of the match, got it. Mulligan was really good. Couldn't believe the team's fall off in the second half. So there's a real thread coming through here. Like, sounds like give me two halves.
Aye.
Completely here. So Stephen Nicholson, first game this season, I thought we really missed Triantis in midfield. Levitt was blowing, as were a fair few. But at the time, we do look a bit lightweight. What do you think about that? Do you think we're like hankering after Triantis, and do you think we do actually miss him?
So I think there's a bigger conversation. It's not just Triantis, but Manny is the other one that you would have thought could have come in today. And there's a school of thought, if you're reading like the message boards on Twitter, that Gray doesn't trust Manny, but I don't think I subscribe to that, because he's featured in all the games until today. He's featured in all the games, and I didn't think you play a player for half an hour in a game or 20 minutes when you didn't trust them. But I don't know why he never played today. Cleese is the same. Like, today might have been an opportunity to play him, although he went for Yuan and Bowie, and I can sort of understand that decision.
I said that on the phone and on Thursday night. I thought that's what they might do.
But I think you've got players there that you're looking at as that, like, they're available but not being used, and probably to a lesser extent Josh Campbell. I thought Josh Campbell was the wrong sub to come on, because I thought we needed somebody to come on and put their foot in the ball.
Right.
And I think Josh Campbell gives us that. Josh Campbell's great when you need somebody to come in and just run about, and like Joe, and work rate's the most important thing, but we needed cool heads. There was a point. In fact, I'm not going to go in it, because Josh Campbell gets slaughtered, and actually Josh Campbell wasn't the problem today. I just think he was the solution. But you've got players there that could have come on and played. We didn't need to have a really tired team today. Like, and I didn't quite understand why not. I guess that's the point I'm making.
Yeah. So Barney Rubble says we need better from the bench. Only Iredale met the standard required. So who did we bring on? We brought Chris Cadden, Josh Campbell, Martin Boyle off the bench, and we left on the bench. Well, Klidgey came on in 91. We left Manny on the bench, Megwa, McIntyre, so young lads. So you could argue, in some ways, you look at that and go, that's quite a strong bench.
I thought it was a strong bench.
Yeah.
I was having a chat with some folk in Jeremiah's tap room before, so a couple of shout outs here for folk that have introduced themselves or let themselves know to me in the last week. So David, who's just moved in round the corner, Willie, who said hello at the game today, his brother-in-law Alan, Daniel, who listens, and Scott, who's over for Australia.
You're going to encourage folk to come and talk to us when we're at the game.
I know, it's outrageous. Imagine being public figures.
Just ignore me. My wife gets annoyed.
You love it though. Like, you pretend like he's like, just ignore me. Fucking loves it. But
My wife,
if
my
you
wife
see
hates
Colin,
it.
definitely go up and say
My
hello,
wife and my
because it
daughter,
does.
they hate it. They hate it.
Sorry, that was a good opportunity for me to introduce Daniel. I was having a chat with him before the game, and we were talking about the squad depth that we have, like the players that we have available. Talking about David Gray's comments previously about, you can change one player and change like the entire outlook of the team. For example, like you had Mulligan there, who was able to fulfill two positions and play more than competently in both of them. I think is it a relativity thing? Like, squads look strong and you've got enough bodies there when you're doing well, but you have a shit afternoon, you go, oh, the fucking bench looks a wee bit weak.
Yeah.
I think it's that sliding doors thing, isn't it? Like, if Rocky doesn't make the mistake to let them in just before half time, I think that's a completely different game. And because we were so good and so comfortable in that first half. Like, we were talking at half time about how, the character of this team. We've spoken about it before, like this side in comparison with other readers that we've had, and how it was the potential for a bit of a statement victory. Like this one, where you're coming back for a Thursday night game again on the Sunday. We did it last week. If we did it again, what does it tell you about the team? And it looked very much at that point that we were going to go and do it. But that goal changes the complexion of it, and all of a sudden you have a terrible second half, and everything comes under the microscope, and it's like the bench isn't good enough, for the signings aren't good enough, for the subs weren't good enough. Whatever it is, we need to change the keeper and X, Y, and Z. And it's just like it's no that it's maybe no that it's all brilliant, but it hasn't all gone to shit on the back of one bad 45 minutes.
Yeah. Is it?
Because there's
Sorry, I was going to say that if that sliding doors moment doesn't happen where Rocky misplaces a pass and they're backtracking or whatever, is it that we're talking about a battling performance from a clearly tired Hibs side
Aye, and
afterwards?
we could still be saying that because we could have. Colin, I don't think you've got to. Yeah, there was somebody made the point on the chat this time last season we would have lost that game. I think it was with Donna. Yeah, Donna said if this was last season we would have been beat. We hopefully got all our mistakes out of the system. Tiredness played its part second half, but we're still unbeaten at home. And we had a few games like that at the back end of last season where you think it might turn out to be a really important point in the end. And we could have lost that game today, but we didn't. We dug in when we needed to dig in, and we made sure that we at least got the point. So there are
Mhm.
positives to take from it. Like it's not.
Yeah.
You didn't want to lose a 2-0 lead, obviously, but it could have been worse.
Was the Rocky mistake pretty bad for the first goal? Because I noticed there's some comments here saying first goal was so poor, give them a lift, and John McGlynn saying that'll be the pundits going back to he's got a mistake in him again. Which they did make a mistake, so he does
Just a
have a
misplaced
mistake.
pass. It was just that it was in a bad area and a bad time in the game, and it got punished. It's
Aye.
exactly the sort of mistake that every player, like everybody, Kilmarnock and Hibs players, misplaced passes all the way through the game. No, everyone got punished, and so that's it. It was a mistake. It wasn't like a fucking he's passed it back and no seen a boy running through and the keeper or anything like that. It's just a kind of run of the mill misplaced pass that got punished. Like I didn't think we need to go where that's Rocky got a mistake in him again.
Yeah, because there is a comment for Gary Fleming who says Smith was a bomb scare today, and somebody agrees with him.
He missed the day.
Which is interesting because I've heard a lot of folk claiming that the bomb scares only apply to a certain type of player, but for it to be on a goalie is different. But he didn't cause any of the goals, did he?
No.
Just getting
No,
panicked.
no, nah. I don't think he could have done anything with the second. Like I think that would be the,
I think it's fair to say, by the way, I think I'd like it to be fair to say that there was a criticism of Smith where the inference was that he was too small to have gotten to got anywhere near the Kilmarnock player's shot. But I don't think Salinger would have got to it, who's considerably taller. Like it was just lifted and just dropped in to the top corner at the last second. Like it was nobody was getting it.
I'm finding it. I mean, I'm obviously thinking. I've said to you guys like I'm not 100% convinced, right? And I haven't been, but I'm finding it a bit surprising that he's had one bad game. Right? Kieran Gallagher said that even his mum said on Twitter he had a bad game, right? Like, hey, you should just keep your mouth quiet. Like, just be quiet when you have a bad game. Like, if you're a parent, right? Like, didn't get involved. Like, just say no.
Just give them a cuddle. You
Carol,
tried your best.
Carol, if you're listening, didn't get involved, right? Didn't engage. But somebody else has said, me, no me, but me on here, saying, hopefully he's better Thursday, if not dropped. It's like, does a goalie only really get one and a half, two bad games?
But I think when you brought in a keeper,
aye,
I think you get two. Like Bursick, I think we persevered with Bursick too long last season.
did aye, 100%.
And they should have made the change earlier. I don't think Smith's anywhere near like Bursick, right? And they would chuck the baby out with the bathwater because Smith has been absolutely, absolutely fine. More than adequate, good in the games that he's had. But I think if you want to have genuine competition for places, then you're not going to drop him after one game. But if that one game turned into 2 or 3 games, then it has to come out and Salinger has to get a shot because we saw last season what happened when we hung on to Bursick for as long as we did.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll make those mistakes again. I think it's just a bad game for him. I think Smith's a good keeper.
Vince Robinson, all the way from America, need to calm down. This is just the shot in the arm required to get us focused on Thursday. Squad is light, a couple of players, and injuries don't help. We need 100% plus vibes between now and Thursday. Well, you can't get more than 100%, but I get the sentiment behind the message. There's a lot of chat for a few folk about we need a new right wing back because Cadden wasn't beating the first man, Andy Allen. I think there's others in there. I've glanced at a few, and also others saying that Mulligan needs to play in the middle and not out at wing back. But a lot of folks said before he signed, he was a really good right, because obviously I never watched enough Dundee games to say, but a lot of folk that did said he played at right wing back and he done well there. So I don't know. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Because obviously folk are now saying he's a midfielder, not a right wing back. What would you think his best position is?
You take that one, John?
I don't know. I think so today. Like I was really interested to see him at right wing back because I think previous games he's played through the middle. So I was like, well, some of the comments through the week, I started to see a bit more sort of criticism of Cadden or kind of pointing him out as being a weak link that needed to be replaced in the Hibs side. So I was probably paying a wee bit more attention today because Mulligan had started in Cadden's place. I would say that Mulligan did beat the player and was able to get the cross in more often than I've seen Cadden do previously. But I don't think of Cadden as being a necessarily weak link in the side. I think they've both got their different attributes that benefit the head side. But I'm also captain of the underdog. So if Cadden's the player to come in for criticism this season, and
Well,
I guess I'm
Campbell's
going
not
to have
getting a
to.
game. Campbell's only coming off the bench, so he can only get so much a hard time.
Aye.
With something else to. No, Smith might bail him out.
But like I kind of like the fact that there's a bit of versatility there. Like that Mulligan can play multiple positions, that you've got an able backup that you may look to replace in the future. But I wouldn't be chasing Cadden out just now. I genuinely have never thought in the previous few weeks or like towards the end of the season or anything, Cadden needs to be replaced.
I was
But
just
I
annoyed
am
when he took that shot straight at the keeper in the Midtjylland game. That annoyed me, but it's more crossing that folk are getting
He had a
getting
stinker today.
it.
Chris Cadden had a stinker today. Like I don't think there's any two ways about it. I like Chris Cadden. I think he's a good player. But I think almost for the bird goal when he came on the day, he just wasn't his day. Like, but there's plenty of days when it is. Like I think he's a good player, and I think he's actually one of the better right-sided players in the league. To be honest with you, like
Yeah.
I know last season when we had both Caddens at player on either side, Malcolm Mackay was talking them both up as the best sort of wing backs in the league. So I think he's dropped off that much for them.
Yeah, we've got a user here called E2 Linoxos E2. They're just saying hi. Don't want to listen now as well. Listen during a portion of the drive tomorrow. So enjoy your drive while we're doing that E2. But they also said, oh, there's all 84 people watching. It's actually over 100 now, but there's only 3 likes. So everybody press the button, please. What else? Benjamin Hackett. Sorry, just joined. Don't know if this has already been said, but we were shattered from Thursday. On a positive note, I predict a good season from Ellie. There's a few folk actually saying Ellie was outstanding. Gary Fleming said that as well, and I've seen a few others say that. So it was good to see that he's getting back in the team and scored a goal today.
We should probably take a wee moment just to talk about Elliot Yuan, by the way, because Yuan was so far out of the picture as far as the fans were concerned that I think we weren't even including him in squad conversations at the start of the season. Today he was actually brilliant. You know, like he did all the things that he gets criticised for not doing, tracking back, making challenges. His work rate was great. He wasn't selfish. Positioning was great. He got a goal. He was tremendous for the time that he was on. And actually, when he went off, our quality dropped quite a bit. Hoylett was really good as well. I think the two of them deserve a special mention, but particularly Yuan, considering he's not had a start for God knows how long.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling down. Excuse me, there's a Kelly fan here, Tim Graham. Let me read it. Kelly fan here. It's always the same year in year out. The teams that go to Europe struggle on the start of the season. 2 up and flying, then the wheels come off, and we could have won. Was his, and he says Thursday, Sunday's a nightmare. Happened to us last year. Aye, it's a fair point. I think they used that as an excuse. Dell was making that as an excuse to fucking May, though, that they couldn't. They had 2 games in Europe or something in August, and it was that was the reason they never finished top 6.
Can I ask the ignorant question about like the Thursday Sunday thing? So see if we get through the Belgrade game and then assuming we get through the next game and we're in the group stages, like how long is it Thursday, Sunday up until
There's
Christmas
weeks
time?
in between. More or less, there's a few weeks you don't play. Like it's not every Thursday, every Sunday, but there's regular games.
Yeah.
I think where you notice it is when you're away. Like I don't think it matters so much the home ones because you didn't have a lot of travel involved. You're maybe not losing a
Yeah.
day training because you're traveling instead. Because like we'll hit December and you're playing like 3 games a week almost. Like
Mhm.
it's not that the players can't cope with it, but I think it's that disruption to the routine and everything because you've got like we had to
Recovery
go.
time as well.
We had to we go to Serbia. You're playing in like warmer conditions, a different environment. It's a tough game. Then the next day you're flying back, so you're not necessarily in for your recovery or whatever. Like I'm not quite sure how Hibs do it. And then you've got the Sunday game to prepare for as well, so your routine's a wee bit out. And
Yeah.
like I can see how it impacts it. I think when we have the home games, it's probably less of an issue.
Yeah. Keith O'Flaherty, excuse me, says can't use tiredness as an excuse. We knew the schedule when we secured third. Recruited well, but still feel we're a couple of players short. I'm kind of with that. Like
Aye,
I get that it's difficult and it knocks the routine out, but the whole point of finishing in for fourth place, whatever, is to get in Europe, play these games. You can't then go, oh fuck's sake, we're playing Thursday, Sunday. Aye, that's right. That was the point.
Aye. I think
aye,
I think I think we're trying to find or we're trying to talk about a bit of nuance with the situation like and tiredness. I don't think we're necessarily blaming it on tiredness. Like we're talking about things like Matty just suggested there with like the flights home, the disruption to routine, etc. Like it's not
Create
an
a new routine.
excuse, but it's
hmm
what
You
do you mean,
create a new
sorry?
routine. Well, we're saying what our routine is we play Saturday, Saturday. Well, our routine now is we play Thursday, Sunday. So create a
Mhm.
new routine.
aye. Like I think that comes with time though.
Yeah.
As well, like, and
Aye.
we're learning that, and you would hope if we get to the group stages that by the time we're at our end of them that we've got like a good handle on it. And then maybe it's Gray needs to rotate the team a bit more. Like I mean, we all praised them for not rotating the team against Dundee and then sticking with it again for the away leg and Partizan. And maybe today the 3 changes weren't enough, or maybe it was the wrong 3 changes, or
Aye.
do you know, like it's all learning, isn't it?
How was Hanley, by the way? I never asked. Like, did he look out of place? I know he's playing on the left side of a three. Did he look
Absolutely fine.
uncomfortable out there?
He had one good Presley flop
Aye.
Yes.
in our box that where he effectively just cheated to get a free kick. You know, one of
Aye.
these ones where
Him and the
he's
centre
taking
half
a
ones. Yeah.
dive, but nah, he didn't
He
look out of
did
place at all, did he?
he did also hold a player almost as long as it took for the referee to get his whistle up to his lips, and then it's almost like he instinctively knew that was enough and let him go. Like he properly delayed their attacking move with
Give me
that
that
one
as
simple move.
Johnny. That's because he's a Hall of Famer,
Aye,
eh? Right. Just one more for YouTube, and then I'll nip over to Twitter for a couple of messages. How long are we? We've not got long left, have we? Ronnie Farmer, who's also a subscriber. So if they're a subscriber, they've got the wee yellow
that's right.
icon
Yep,
after their names on
you
YouTube.
notice him
Um,
as we
is
call them our
Bowie
best ones.
our best ones? Aye.
Aye.
What's the wee crown beside folk?
That's when they're top fans. So
Ah, right.
their comments are good quality and frequent,
Ah,
and
right.
they're
Because
good
me,
engagement.
not me, this person that's called herself me, has got a number 2 crown, and
Yep.
Kieran Gallagher's got a number 3 crown. I don't know who's got number 1. Anyway, me says no. Me replied to Ronnie Farmer, who said, "Is Bowie okay? He took a bad one." Who said, and me said that me, not me, said Gray says hopefully just a knock. But I don't know if you've heard anything or seen anything.
Chris
He was
Blackett's number
doing,
one, by the way.
Is he?
Aye.
by the way, shout out to Chris as well. I was chatting to him for a good bit in Jeremiah's, but we see each other that often nowadays. I'm sure he wasn't looking for the shout out. I know Bowie took a real, or Bowie took a real sore one. I don't know whether it was ankle, foot, if he's been stood on, if he's gone over on it or whatever, but he's gone off gingerly.
Green Tea said Bowie was kicked up and down the park. Thought he should have come off earlier. He was leathered up and down the park. And,
He gets in games like this. That's his game, though, isn't it?
aye, but does he get much for the referees? Like he gets a free kick, but like you're needing the referee to be stronger with the cards. I think
Mm.
in these ones there was a couple of really heavy tackles on him that just got a free kick and nothing else.
How many bookings were there? I see we got Mulligan booked again. But they only got 2.
Mulligan's was a rugby tackle. Came one of these ones when they're running away past him.
Mm.
However, I thought it was a bit tight because he had broken forward just before it, and the boy had tried to do it to him. But the referee played on because Mulligan managed to get free of him, and we went on. I think this was the one where Boyle ended up kind of giving away a foul. And I don't think the referee went back and booked their player. So I think if you're Mulligan, you're going, well, fucking hell, if you're allowed to do it, I'm going to do it.
That's how they.
But
Yeah.
he obviously forgot that
Sometimes
they
they
work like
do
that
when
when
you
you're at
when you
Hibs.
play on.
Aye.
But if you play on, you don't come back. I was just looking at the XG there when I was in, John. You'd mentioned it earlier. It was 1.85 versus 0.92. So they've well exceeded what we were about par, just a wee bit, close to what we created. Whereas they're well under it, and that'll be because the boys hit a fluke or
Mhm.
a wonder strike or whatever it was. I've not seen it. I'll just go into Twitter and I
I'm
had the
taking nothing off away for the boy for the strike, by the way. As much as I'm loath to give opponents credit, it's just a fucking beach edge. It's like one of these ones you go, aye, fair fucks, it's a good goal.
I
Yeah.
still feel like I've not quite managed to describe how I feel about the goal. Like it was a good strike. It just, like technique wise, I think it was maybe a wee bit basic. I'm not saying that I could do it. I would maybe expect a professional footballer to be able to have that control over the ball because I don't think, like I say, he's not run onto it Wayne Rooney style. He's just sort of lifted it back, kind of like sent the ball back the way that it came.
It's inch perfect, though, isn't it? I mean, there's no keeper could have saved it. I don't think. Like you would
No,
need to. I think for the keeper, for a keeper to have saved it, they would need to be so badly out of position that they're standing on the post,
yeah,
ready to jump up and touch it over the bar.
I'm just in the Twitter, excuse me,
Go
bookmarks
for it.
here, and Whiskey Craig, he says the boys all been burst, couple of lapses in defence, just a half a beat off it. Hopefully they'll learn. Still a good point, or still a point, never said good point. Levitt is a maestro, we miss Nicky Cadden. Hoylett's composure is superb and Bowie is a menace. BBC are saying the VAR chose not to intervene on McGrath penalty. McGrath, sorry. So that means they don't choose not to intervene. They just say that we're sticking with the referees.
It's no clear and obvious error.
Aye. There's no thing where they go, no, we'll no bother with that one. Like they look and then they say we'll stick with the ref. I think that's
Mhm.
how it's meant to work anyway.
am
Um,
I am I am I being stupid here? But how could the referee accurately make that call on the pitch? Like, was he in the right
it's his
position to
job.
make that
The,
call?
the the referee was well positioned for it. Like so, the referee was up with play. If I was going to give him the credit for it, so in order for this to be the case, and you'll get it on the VAR review because there've been a few of these, the referee would have described what he's seen and said that's no penalty. Like his arms close to his body, or it's too close to him, or whatever. And then the VAR team will look at it and go, "Aye, basically what we're seeing is what you've described. So if you think that's no penalty, we're not correcting you." Where they would come in is if the referee says, "I don't think it's hit his arm." And then they look and say, no, it's definitely hit his arm. Come and have a look at the monitor. And then he would go
Aye.
because they can tell he's made a mistake. But they talk to each other all the way through it like that. And the referee, they never make like a non-decision. What they'll do is they'll say that's no penalty, rather than just pretending nothing's happened. So, and the referee did. He sort of signalled, "No, I'm not giving it." Oh, actually, there was a handball. The McGrath one was where he was blocked because there was a handball check, and there was the other one where McGrath.
There was a second one towards in right at the
Aye,
end of the
so
game.
that's interesting. I didn't care why that wasn't given.
I've just had a message for one of our friends and subscribers, Andrew McBee, who's just told me wasn't it a penalty. Oh my god, he just
All right,
privately messaged me. It's not on Twitter or nothing. It's just flashed up while I'm reading the bookmark. So he's adamant, and who's to
fair,
argue with him?
fair
He's
enough.
he's a man of facts.
Aye,
Exactly. William Turner, Iredale is massive for us at the back. Abita needs him there to do the defending so he can get forward. Um, I felt we
yep.
should have started our best 11 and subbed folk out. Several players looking exhausted. Why have we been
So
paying £1 million for subs? Here we go.
So I was thinking about this just a few minutes ago. Like, and I think there's maybe been a few other suggestions for listeners, subscribers, etc. But do you think maybe the thing that Gray needs to work on is trusting more players? But I can understand what, like, because of the position that we're in, because of the run that we've had, because of where we are in, this European tie. Is he trusting the players that got us there a little bit too much and is reluctant to bring others in?
Yeah, you've got to earn trust, right? But the only way you can earn it is by getting opportunities. But I suppose you could look at it and say, well, he's gave a few an opportunity today and but didn't perform well.
But we did, I mean, this is the thing. The
No, we
players that
did for
came in,
African.
aye, it's such like a weird thing because
Aye.
the potential to criticise Gray for getting the team selection wrong is there, but actually we were outstanding for what 44 minutes of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's coming through all the comments on,
Mhm.
on YouTube and Twitter. Pat Fry's image says we've got the most points of any team playing in Europe so far this season. Really surprised at how out of sync Smith was with the defence. There was only one change on the defence, wasn't there? Hanley in for
Mhm.
Iredale.
Yeah.
So it's not really, you can't really say it's, Hanley's going to be a good communicator. I mean, he's Scotland Hall of Famer. So it can't be just that. Like, it's maybe just, you don't know, I suppose, what's going on. Like,
Mhm.
maybe he's just had a shaky night's sleep. Who knows? Stuart Simonton, very tired. 3 competitive games. Everybody calm down. Just trying to find other folk here that haven't messaged this on either on the YouTube. Neil said, great to see early start. Thought he had a good game, took his goal well. Think he needed that. I'm just skimming down them now. How do you do it? How do you make it sound like you're talking while you're still reading?
Seamless.
It's good,
Aye.
eh?
I don't know. I don't know if it's good or not. Folk might enjoy this better. I
It
don't know.
was it was like, did you see Sports Scene last night?
Nah, I've not watched it.
Sports Scene
Dougie
was like
Donnelly closed it.
a blast for the past. You had Dougie Donnelly, who was like the sort of consummate professional, coming in and just sort of taking over for Stephen Thompson, who, he does all right. He does
I
all
like
right.
Stevie
No,
Thompson.
aye. But I had Archie McPherson and Jock Brown doing the commentary for the games.
Ah,
It was good. Like, if you like a bit of nostalgia, which who
we
doesn't?
all used to moan about Jock Brown when he was commentating, eh?
Aye, I know.
We all liked him last night.
Aye,
Just shows you, yeah. It's like in a few years' time, we're like, mind that Smith? He was like, goalie. I
aye.
really liked you, and he worked hard as fuck. Up and down that pitch, covering in. Dinsey says, I know Gray has explained the Klidgy situation. However, in a game like today, when we were knackered, there's surely value bringing on your record signing. I think the record signing thing's total. Like, I know I've said it over and over, but it's like it's creating an expectation that, and I kind of get it,
Aye.
right? He's a record signing, but
Mm-hmm.
there's, as I keep saying, like, there's guys ahead, like, so do you bring him on Eddie Boyle then, who's worth more than him, or what are we doing?
But I don't know. I totally get it, because you've got like, Boyle wasn't £1 million player when we got him, right? And the reason he got there is because he played games, right? And Bow, we never paid £1 million for it, but he'll go for more than £1 million. Lewis Miller, who just went for £1 million, but did they pay £1 million for him? But he got there because we played him. So if you're bringing in a player like Clegy over £1 million, then at some point you're going to have to play him, so that when you sell him, he is better than Martin Boyle, and he is better than Kieran Bowie or
Mhm.
Ellie Yuan. Like that's surely the point of bringing them in and spending that amount of money on them at that age. So
Yeah,
I do get it. Like, I can see why there's the clamour for it, but I didn't think scoring the goals was a problem today. It was like, second half, it was creating the chances to score that was
Mhm.
the issue.
Passing the ball, making the run, not falling over the ball, etc.,
Aye.
etc.
At least hopefully we just got all that shit out of the way in one game, eh? Or one
Mhm.
Aye.
half. Mark McWilliams, there's two. I'll do two more, right?
Right.
Mark McWilliams, missed Triantis today, sitting in front of the back three. Time for a keeper change. Smith's going to cost us big time sooner or later. And he's went down to excellent first 30 minutes. Stuart, excuse me, he says, interesting to hear if Colin thinks Smith should have saved their second. Personally, I think he should have done better. Looked like he was on his line and struggled to get off the ground. Now, Stuart, I've not seen it. I'll watch it later, and I'll say on a show later in the week what I think. But I get the feeling that you just don't think it was savable. And there's a few comments on YouTube saying that if he was on Salinger's shoulders, he wouldn't have saved it, and stuff. But I've not seen it, so I can't say. But you guys think it's unsavable, yeah?
I wouldn't apportion any blame to the keeper for it personally.
No.
I'll have a look.
Aye.
Because I was at him after that free kick over the Michelin
For the
day. I
Michelin one, I
still
know,
think
yeah.
he could have done better than that. So, I know everybody's saying it was a top goal in that, but I think it was a good height for a goalie like the McGrath one over in Belgrade during the week. The goalie got over and saved it, just the same height as the
Yeah.
Michelin one, over the wall. So anyway, that's me. I've not read all the
I've
comments.
just watched it.
There's loads of comments out there.
Can I just say, Steve has said, how can anyone slate Smith? What the fuck? He's the biggest reason we went on the unbeaten run. And I think, like, I said at the
That
store,
doesn't mean
like,
he's immune to criticism, though.
he's a good keeper. Like, he had an off day today. It happens. There was loads of players had an off day today. So, you know, put it to bed and move on.
I've just watched their goal back, their second one, and I still sort of maintain that it's not that Wayne Rooney goal, but I've maybe done him a disservice. That is, he's spotted Smith maybe a wee bit off his line, but Smith's not saving that if he's standing on the line. It's genuinely like top corner.
But did he do anything? Was his feet like slow, or did he take a step forward or a step the wrong way or anything that then created the problem? Like, rather than, I don't know. I'm asking questions. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not a loaded question.
If he'd had kind of mind the gladiators with the big foam hands,
Aye.
if he'd had a pair of them on, he might have got it. But I think other than that, I don't think his footwork or anything made any difference to it. I think it's just a good goal.
Fair enough.
Okay, right. I think that's us out of time for the night. Colin, good job on hosting duties tonight. Do you feel you've got a good sense of the game?
Aye, I do. I do think we were brilliant and then we were shite. That's what I'm picking up.
That's pretty much in a nutshell. We could have saved ourselves an hour.
We could just give it 2 halves. That's it.
Aye.
Done. See you.
Right, what we've got coming up, we've got this week, again, our European schedule's a wee bit skew with because our normal routine is to have our phone in on Thursday night, but obviously we've got the European game on Thursday, so we'll not be doing that. If you are a subscriber, so if you're when we're talking about subscribers, we mean a YouTube member, and you can do that. So if you're watching on YouTube, then now you'll see a wee join button. You can hit that. It's £3, I think, £3.99 or £3. I can't remember exactly how much it is, right? You hit that, you get all our subscriber content as well. Or you can go to Patreon and you can get it as a podcast or a unique YouTube link as well, so you don't have to watch any of the adverts, because some of you watching this or listening to it with loads of adverts, you don't have to. We do have ad-free options available to you. So Monday for our subscribers, we'll have extra time. I'm not quite sure what our topic will be for tomorrow's one, but we'll get our heads together and come up with a good topic for you. And then on, I think probably Friday, we'll do the phone in again after the European game. So we'll do that, and then on Sunday next week we will have our regular weekly episode again. So anything in particular you want us to cover, do get in touch and we'll do our best to cover it. Thanks very much to everybody for your talking points and your engagement tonight, and enjoy what's left of the weekend, and we'll see you next time.